Being chronically ill can really make us feel miserable. But what if I told you that some of these emotional states, if we get stuck in them for too long, can actually interfere with our ability to heal? So in this video, I'm going to cover with you what some of these emotions are so that you can identify what you may need to work on to better support your chronic illness recovery. If you're new, I'm Rachel, and I help people dealing with the emotional burnout that comes with chronic illness to support their chronic illness recovery. If you want to know more about my journey to wellness, make sure you check out my healing story video. I've put the link in the description. So one of the most powerful emotions that we can feel when we're chronically ill is grief. And when we're chronically ill, we can be reminded almost on a daily basis of what we've lost, what we had, and what we're missing out on. And that can bring on feelings of grief. For me, I really mourned what I'd lost and the things that I didn't have the ability to do anymore that I used to enjoy. It really weighed me down, and it used to be very draining. And I don't want you to think that there's anything wrong with you experiencing grief. We lose a lot when we get chronically ill, careers, friendships, and I want you to know it's a normal response to what is quite a big traumatic and life-changing situation at times. And it can only be an issue if we get stuck here. Grief is supposed to be experienced and moved through. If you think about what happens to people when they lose a loved one, often they can get sick as well. So it isn't good for our bodies to be stuck in a perpetual state of grief, which can often come with chronic illness. So if you are stuck feeling this great deep sorrow, this is something that really is worth addressing, and it will propel you forward in your healing. So self-pity can really go hand in hand with grief, and it can become a potent tool for inaction, disempowerment, and low motivation. Really, if we're busy feeling sorry for ourselves, we're not owning our power and really tapping into the strength that we have within us. Instead, we're wallowing, we're in a state of feeling sorry for ourselves and really dwelling on what has happened to us. And I'm not minimizing what has happened to you, what happened to me in any way, shape or form. But if we get stuck in feeling sorry for ourselves all the time, it really stops us moving forward and getting to that place where we tap into the resilience that we really need to heal. In a place of self-pity, we may also be looking to others to support us and really to give us what we need in order to feel better. And unfortunately, with the best will in the world, and I'm sure you'll agree if you really think deeply about this, our friends and family cannot do everything for us, and they can't be everything that we actually need in order to move our health forward in a positive direction. And as I found out, I had to stop feeling sorry for myself in order to be there for myself. Self-empathy is a much more conscious and empowering state of mind than self-pity. And it's really the act of acknowledging our pain, honoring who we are, and that gives us back our power without us having to relive those feelings of self-pity every day. When I work with clients, there's often a lot of underlying anger, and this was an emotion that I spent a lot of time in. And when you're chronically ill, there is a lot to be angry about. Lack of empathy from friends, insensitive remarks, doctors and practitioners who haven't taken you seriously, some of the things that you've endured, and then of course anger towards ourselves. We can often blame ourselves for a lot of the stuff that's happening to us and having a body that we get frustrated with. And anger for me really ate me up inside, and there was nowhere for it to go. And in our society, anger is not an emotion that we're really taught how to express in a healthy way. So it's really important that we find healthy ways to express our anger so that we get to a point of acceptance or at least neutrality to some of the things that have happened to us, some of the people that have done things to us, some of the ways we feel about ourselves. And really the opposite of anger is peace. So if you can process your anger, you can learn to express anger in healthy ways, and you can spot when anger is bubbling up rather than suppressing it. then your body is really going to thank you for that. I could literally talk for hours about all the things that I feared during my experience of chronic illness. There are so many different things that we fear, and a lot of the anxiety that we experience really comes from fear of the unknown. Fear of what could happen if we don't recover. Fear of what could happen if we don't do something, or we do something for our health. Do something. But you know what I mean. And in order to stay safe, we consciously anticipate all of the possible things that could happen so that we can deal with them better. And our unconscious also joins the party by using things that we've learnt in childhood about what is safe and what isn't. And unfortunately, if we've learnt that the world isn't a safe place, we really get stuck in a state of fight, flight, or freeze all the time. And as we know, that really is the stress response, and that puts the brakes on all our healing. In my work, I'm very focused on finding the fears that clients have around their health, but also looking at what experiences they have had in their life that have contributed to that fear response. And then we work really to let their body know that they are safe. And once the body knows it's safe, it can start to move towards a healing state. So which of these emotions do you feel stuck in? And if you want to try a technique that I've used during my recovery to deal with fear and that anticipation of the worst happening, make sure you check out this video, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.